Women in the U.S. need a mastectomy after a breast cancer diagnosis. The Women's Health and Cancer Rights Act requires insurance companies who pay for mastectomies to cover breast reconstruction as well. Well, today in our series Medical Price Roulette, we're looking at how policy changes could deny some women a more natural type of breast reconstruction, which they believe can help them feel whole again. Our consumer investigative correspondent Anna Werner is here. Anna, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Michelle. This breast reconstruction method uses a patient's own tissues instead of artificial implants, something many women prefer. Some surgeons say what sounded like a simple change to the coding of this procedure now could make it unaffordable for all but the wealthiest patients.
I noticed a small nodule, like right on my breast.
When the lump in Rita Davis's breast turned out to be malignant, she and her husband Britt had no idea it would mean more than a year-long fight against aggressive cancer.
We found out that there was much more spread than we knew.
I wasn't ready for that, you know. It's like, oh my God.
Doctors had to remove her right breast and give her chemotherapy and radiation. This teacher and mother of 4 lost her hair, her nails, and her sense of self.
Everything is so uncontrollable to you as the patient.
You're not in control.
You're not in control of
Everything
anything.
is something that happens to you.
Right.
So when doctors asked if she wanted a breast reconstruction, she answered yes.
Reconstruction, at least you get to have some sort of a choice. You get to have some sort of a say of what's happening to you and your body at that point.
Most women undergoing breast reconstruction get implants made of silicone and filled with either a silicone gel or saline solution. They carry risks of additional surgeries, pain, rupture, even an associated immune system cancer. Yet this middle school teacher knew from her own research there was another option, something called a deep flap, in which a surgeon removes skin, fat, and blood vessels from a woman's stomach, essentially doing a tummy tuck, and uses them to create a new breast with the woman's own tissues.
What did you like about what you read about it?
Using my own skin. I liked that it would be built naturally, you know what I mean, more naturally than with implants.
But when the couple went to a local plastic surgeon's office,
they said, oh, well, these are your implants. I mean, they pulled out the 2.
Let us feel them.
So
let us feel them.
So literally it was, okay, implants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was the only direction that you got.
Yes.
the only other surgeon she could find in San Antonio who offered deep flap surgery didn't take her insurance. Their cash price, $50,000.
And I don't think that's fair. I mean, I don't think that, especially after fighting this kind of a journey, this kind of a battle, to be told because you don't have the money, you don't have the option to do anything different.
Because this doesn't seem right. Something's not adding up here.
Women should not be asked to pay cash for this surgery. So I'm going to take all of this tissue.
Austin, Texas surgeon Dr. Elizabeth Potter, who specializes in deep flap surgeries, says part of the problem is that the operation is longer and requires complex microsurgical skills, meaning many plastic surgeons simply don't offer it. On top of that, some doctors charge much higher fees and won't accept insurance.
You're already seeing where surgeons are basically saying to patients, either you pay cash or it's not going to happen.
I am already seeing that.
Dr. Potter does accept insurance, but now she says a change in the way the government codes the procedure is about to make the surgery even harder to get. The change has prompted some insurance companies to start sending out letters like these, saying their reimbursements will drop, some, she estimates, by 80%.
Make no mistake, women who want this surgery and have money will always have access to it. The only people that this coding change affects and hurts are women who need access through insurance.
And if I can't afford to pay for it myself,
good luck.
That, says Florida Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz, a breast cancer survivor, is not a good enough answer.
So much of the aftermath as you go through the process of being a survivor turns on your psychological well-being and how you feel as a human and as a woman. And this obstacle was put in the way of breast cancer survivors.
So why did that change happen? The Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, the government agency that oversees the coding, says the code changes came about after the American Medical Association and plastic surgeons asked for changes. But the doctors' groups told us the insurance companies are to blame for deciding to lower their reimbursements. Regardless of who's to blame, this representative is pushing for a solution.
They got to get together and fix this. This is a devastating decision for women who've been through this.
Well, Representative Wasserman Schultz is part of a bipartisan effort to get this change reversed. We contacted several insurance companies. One told us it has now postponed lowering its reimbursements because of the concerns raised. Others didn't respond. As for Rita Davis, she was lucky. She found Dr. Potter, who agreed to do her surgery for whatever amount Davis's insurance will pay, even though Dr. Potter says it will not cover her costs.
Wow.
But there's not a lot of surgeons out there doing those kinds of almost pro bono efforts.
Yeah,
How do we get here? I mean, how did this happen?
You know, that's a great question because the answer to that is a little unclear. You know, there's a coding process at the government. It involves doctors, the AMA, the doctors' groups, the government officials, and they establish the codes, and then the reimbursement comes from the insurance companies who look at the codes and decides, okay, it's code X that pays this amount of money, right? So essentially you kind of have it moving from one code that paid more to another code that paid less, and nobody's really clear on why, how was this intended, unintended consequences of a change? So then what you have is you have Representative Wasserman Schultz saying, and others in Congress saying, all right, you know what? This is not okay. Whatever the intent was, the reason was, it's not okay for this to wind up this way, and you guys need to come together and fix this. And by the way, Representative Wasserman Schultz says she does not think legislation is the answer because she's like, look, that's a hard, uphill battle. It's going to take forever if it even gets in. They need to come to the table and fix it.
Doing stories like this help. So thank you.
We hope so.
Thank you.
We really hope so.
All right, coming up, how a mob boss hid in plain sight for 30